nation. Another game. Oh! That is on the road. And he's given him! Villacil's got a hat-trick on his birthday!
All right, guys. It's me, Menace Silver, here today on episode 2 of the Elite Champions. And I'm actually joined by a guest this time, a permanent addition to the team. You can say a hockey analysis, sort of. I'm going to introduce my guest here, SuperTanuma. You want to say hi?
Was that Aguero's name I heard in the commentary?
Yes, it was.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, he's actually a Manchester United supporter.
Yeah, well, it's tragic.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie, I actually put that in there purposely just to piss you off.
All right, well, yeah, we have it's the dead time of sports, you know. The only thing on is baseball. At least North America.
Yeah, at least baseball. And like international volleyball.
Yeah. I mean, college volleyball, international volleyball, volleyball is volleyball. I think everyone loves volleyball.
Maybe the World Poker Championships.
Dude, table tennis.
Well, table tennis is actually a pretty fun sport.
I mean, it's fun to play. I don't know how fun it is to watch.
It depends who you're watching playing.
Well, why are we talking about table tennis? We just had like a slew of sports just end, you know.
Yeah, okay. So if you guys don't know, SuperTanuma has actually been on other streams previously. A lot during the Euros that happened last year, in which Portugal was declared the winner that year.
That was sad.
It was interesting because Portugal didn't win I don't think they won a single game in their group stage.
Yeah, I think they tied all of them. I was really hoping Wales would win. That Wales.
A lot of
game
people wanted Wales to win. Yeah.
It's the classic underdog story. You root for the losers.
No, bro, Iceland.
It's
an underdog story.
Oh, Iceland. I mean, to be honest, Iceland winning, that'd have been amazing, but they weren't.
No, you should see Iceland the other day. They were playing Croatia. 0-0, 89th minute. They score from a corner.
It's clutch.
Yeah. Another game. England, Scotland. Big rivalry game. England opens up early with Oxlade-Chamberlain goal. Then, in the 87th minute, Scotland scores a free kick. 88th minute,
yeah.
That same guy from Scotland from the same position scores another free kick.
I mean, those tight matches, like
then
hold your breath.
In the 90th minute, England.
Oh God, there's more.
Yeah, in the 90th minute, then England equalized, and the game ends 2-2.
I mean, to be honest, those tight games, you hold your breath the entire time, but once it's over, like, whether good or bad, like just the weight is taken off your shoulders. You know, it wasn't a close matchup. The NBA Finals.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. Thank you for bringing us to the NBA Finals. So as most of you should know by now, Golden State did win 4-1, which is a bit of a different result from last season. Last season, it was the exact same two teams, but instead of Golden State, Cleveland had actually won. Cleveland won 4-3. It went on to
this is what happened when the Warriors have the exact same team and then you just add Kevin Durant. I mean, at that point they're not even hiding the fact that there's no shame in making a super team.
Yeah. I mean, one thing. What do you think is different in the Cleveland team between last year and this year?
I don't think it's anything Cleveland's fault. I think it's the Warriors. You know, I mean, adding Kevin Durant. That's all you got to say. They just added Kevin Durant.
Okay. Well, that's true. Kevin Durant is a very good player.
I mean, he won the MVP.
Right. He did. Let's see. So I'm just opening up the chat real quick. Just trying to see some stuff. And see if we've actually a couple of viewers joining in. Okay, so adding on to the NBA Finals. I think one thing Cleveland did a bit different. No, not Cleveland. Golden State did different this year is that they capitalized on some of Cleveland's mistakes. Because if they didn't, honestly speaking, this would have gone on to the 6th or 7th game. But this was done and dusted within the fifth game. So I think one thing that Cleveland did very good this time around was to actually not Cleveland. I'm sorry, Golden State did very good this time around was to actually capitalize on those mistakes.
I mean, it was utter domination, to be honest, by the Warriors. I mean, maybe
Right.
not the games themselves, but in the series, when the Warriors need to win, they gotta win. I mean, after those, I think both teams were undefeated up until the finals. But after those first two games where the Warriors took control, I mean, it's very difficult to come back from a 2-0 deficit, honestly, in a 7-game series. I mean, people have done it, but like to be in the finals on a stage that big, it really is tough.
Right. Okay. So we obviously know the result. We've seen the changes that have happened. What do you think Golden State are going to do going into next season?
I mean, what do they have to do? I mean, they just won the championship. They've been back. Like, I think this is their third final in a row now. Like, I didn't kept up with 2015, but honestly, they're in a good position. If they change anything, all they're going to do is like, how many superstars are they going to add? They're not going to add
Right.
Westbrook, or I don't know who else they could add. Somebody I don't know who's on the market right now, but they can't just add another superstar. It's not going to happen.
Let's see. Cleveland should have won Game 5. It's just after Kevin Durant joined, he carried the Warriors.
That's the point. The Warriors don't have to do anything. They have Kevin Durant.
So obviously that's actually one of our viewers who said that. That's what he was saying. Okay, so tell me this. Obviously, I just asked you about what Golden State should do different. Now, what should Cleveland do different going into next season?
Shore up defensively. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if they want to get the super team, because I detest the idea of super teams in the NBA. But it looks like in this market, that's what you got to do. You got to load up superstars as you can. Like I said, I don't know who's in the market free agency wise, but maybe make a splash or a trade. They don't need first overall picks.
Okay, so which team you think in this season did decent? Which team do you want to see next season try to challenge for the cup?
For the NBA, it's not gonna happen. But the Clippers, I'd love to see them.
Clippers, I'd say the closest one I can think of would be the Boston Celtics.
Celtics, I don't really want to see the Celtics do good, but like
But I'd say at this point,
any team that isn't the Warriors or the Cavs, I'm rooting for pretty much.
yeah, I'm from Chicago. Obviously, it wasn't that good of a season this year. Somehow barely made the playoffs. So.
Yeah, and then they lost to the Celtics. I mean, I thought they were in good position. They were up 2-0, and then they lost.
Yeah. Pretty much that's the summary of Chicago. Like we're basically.
I mean, it's not as tragic as your season in hockey this year.
Look, you know what's one of our defining moments in Chicago history?
Probably not football.
No. It's basically when a cow kicked over a lamp, causing the Great Fire of Chicago.
Oh.
That's pretty much the story behind it.
Interesting. I mean, Chicago's historically a sports town, but in hockey, you guys have done fairly good until I guess these last 2 years.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys are faring in the NFL. It doesn't look too good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't follow baseball, but you don't look that great. No, wait, no, you just won. Never mind.
Yeah,
Never mind.
just won. We're still good this season.
No, there's two Chicago teams, so.
Right, but the Cubs is the only one that people actually care about.
Yeah, I've met one like White Sox fan in my life. I've met one.
I haven't met any, and I'm actually from Chicago. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, which is kind of sad, to be honest.
Okay, so moving on to our let's see. I don't know. You tell me. What do you want to do? Should we move on to the NHL finals, or should we move on to the Champions Trophy?
Champions Trophy.
Champions Trophy. Fair enough. I guess the world's looking at it right now. As we
it's the only thing relevant right now.
Right. So in the first episode, as we discussed, the group stage was completed, with in Group A, England and Bangladesh going through, and in Group B, India and Pakistan going through. But now we are done with the semifinals, going into the finals. A quick wrap up. Semifinal 1 was probably the big one to talk about. England versus Pakistan. England strong favorites to go through. Pakistan wins, and Pakistan don't just win; they humiliate England on their home ground. So Pakistan go through. Pakistan are actually the lowest ranked team in the tournament. So keep in mind, it's an underdog story basically from bottom to top. Now all they have to do is win the finals. India, Bangladesh. This is interesting. India, strong, the strongest team in the tournament, I can say. Bangladesh are looking to accept their looking to defeat their longtime rivals. They fail. Bangladesh fail horribly. I thought it's a very good batting surface. You could have easily gone
One of
300.
your mega fans is telling me to check telling me to tell you to check the chat right now.
No. I do see the chat.
I can't see his comments, but he's saying that he's in there.
It was a super team.
That's me.
Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, I can see the chat. Whatever. We'll, as people come in, we'll definitely discuss the chat. Don't worry about that. So, continuing on the Champions Trophy. Basically, how should I put this in a sense? On a batting surface that which you can easily score 300 runs on, Bangladesh practically failed the entire time. The opening was strong. Tamim Iqbal, very consistent performer, puts up a score of 70. Then from there, the middle order just collapses. Wicket after wicket falls. Beautiful bowling from the Indian pace line, I have to absolutely say. Then towards the ending, there was a little bit of hope coming through. Bangladesh manages to 265. But when you're basically up against a strong batting line like India, 265 is not enough. It's a good score in the format of one-day cricket, but it's just not a good enough score when you're playing the likes of India. And India take advantage of it. They don't just win. They win with 13 overs remaining. So India asserted their dominance. Bangladesh's bowling wasn't a normal Bengali bowling line we saw. They were bowling short, slow. It was easy, for the Indian batsmen to hit. It was like, this is no challenge at all. I saw very few moments where the Indian batsmen were even troubled. So now going into the final, you have the two of the best bowling attacks in the team. But India are, of course, extremely strong favorites going into this match because obviously their batting lineup is much superior to the Pakistani batting lineup. But the bowling lineup, Pakistan's bowling lineup has been by far the best of the tournament. So it's just something to see. The last time these two teams have played in a finals was in 2007, which India won. It's going to be interesting to see if Pakistan can actually pull it through. Lowest ranked team, their biggest challenge yet. Can they win the cup?
Speaking of dominance, the Penguins have 2 back-to-back Stanley Cups now.
Right. That was something I was just about to get to. Tell me this. From a Penguins fan like you, which season was more enjoyable to follow? Last season or this season?
Well, I guess it depends. Last year we pretty much the only series I'd say we really struggled was against Tampa Bay in the third round. But I felt we had a pretty much easy road. So I guess it was enjoyable in that aspect. Like, nothing was like a nail biter or anything. It was just I don't say easy. It's never easy, but like the Penguins had their dominance for this year. It was tough. There was a lot of wins I definitely say we didn't deserve to win, but clutch scoring. When you get goals at the right time, get a block shot. All of the games are honestly nail biters. The only time we actually had dominance was probably the first series.
What do you think about the defending? Was it defending this season better or defending last season?
Oh, that's not even a question. We were missing our best defender this season, Chris Letang. The soccer equivalent I'd say is probably like if Barcelona had to go. Maybe not Barcelona, but like if Barcelona was missing PK or if Bayern was missing Boateng for like the entire season.
Season.
Yeah, or we had him for the first half of the season. Then like around I want to say February. It's been a while, but he gets injured and he's out for the playoffs.
Okay.
And our defense was pretty bad, but our forwards managed to carry them.
In terms of skill wise, was it harder to win the cup last season or this season?
Definitely harder this season, but that's why I feel like the Penguins could be the best team to actually win 3 in a row for the first time since 1983, because this was the weakest team they've had, and they managed to win the cup.
So was it harder this season purely because repeating 2 back-to-back Stanley Cups?
Yeah, it's 100 games a year.
Was there that responsibility on the back to win again?
The last team to win back-to-back was in 1996, I believe, with the Detroit Red Wings. So there's this idea been that a team in the NHL can't win back-to-back. It's too hard. 100-point seasons. And Mike Sullivan, who's the current Penguins coach, has not lost a series with the Penguins so far. He came in 2016 to win the Cup, so he obviously won all of his series this year. And he definitely preached about resilience and being able to come back. So in his philosophy, he explicitly stated that he sees no reason why they can't win obviously they can't win every year, but he sees no reason why they can't compete every year, and that's the mentality they wanted this year. Even though they're missing their best defenseman, they crawl out. It's tough, it's tiresome, it's weary, but they managed to pull out a win. Next year, they get back their best defenseman, who's been, he might be rusty with not having played for a while, but I think for the Penguins, that's their advantage at this point. Their best defenseman has not played since like a competitive match since probably January. He's been arrested for like a year or like half a year. He gets to come back in fresh, and for the last 2 years, they're bringing in a bunch of young 19-year-olds. Last year it was Connor Sheary, Brian DeMullen, Brian Rust, guys who got in clutch goals. They up and down the lineup. This year was Jake Gensel. He had 13 goals in the playoffs. That was I believe the second highest of any rookie. Who knows who they're going to bring in next year. And I think the defining thing is every year the Kings and the Blackhawks won for that 5-year period when they were the only ones winning. The Blackhawks had to get rid of like half their roster, and then they would lose the next year in the first round, and then have to bring in a whole like other bottom part of the lineup to complement their stars. The Penguins last year did not lose, only lost Ben Lovejoy, who was not a big loss. He was a 6th pairing defenseman. And then this year, we might lose our third-line center, Nick Bonino, who was clutch last year, but this year took a back seat. And we have to re-sign Justin Schultz. But there's no reason why we can't keep our whole roster. We're probably going to lose Marc-Andre Fleury, who's our backup goalie, making $5 million. We have 2 starting goalies. With the cap space we're clearing up, we're going to have about $20 million. I say we sign. I see no reason why we can't get a top free agent. I know I preach against super teams in the NBA and in soccer, but honestly, the Penguins are going to be the only super team in the league. So I can't root against that. It's my team.
So do you expect the Pens to win a 3rd championship in a row?
I don't expect it, but I really hope so. I think they can if they try really hard, but it's going to be really tough.
Which team in the NHL do you think has a good shot at winning next season?
Next season, I honestly don't know. I feel like the league is maybe weaker than it was a couple years ago, to be honest. At least from what I see right now, but I think this might be the craziest offseason, and I think out of the offseason, we might have some of the strongest teams. I think it's going to be a complete reversal. This year, I didn't see anybody stopping the Penguins. The Capitals were the best team in the league, and honestly, they were dominating the Penguins, and they couldn't get a win. So, but right now, the teams I'm looking at are Edmonton and Toronto. I don't think they're going to win a cup, but they just got Connor McDavid for Edmonton. They got Austin Matthews.
Edmonton, I was thinking.
Yeah, they look like what the Penguins looked like a couple like back in 2006. I think the league is changing. It's been Crosby's played like I think maybe 11 or 12 years now, so it's definitely a new direction. And that's just the thing with every sport. They're going to take turns in your history. The NHL is taking a dramatic turn now, and I'm not sure where it's going to go, but I think it's an exciting time.
So Edmonton, I understand, but you said Toronto.
Yeah, I know. They were the worst team last season, and they managed to make it to the first round. They got eliminated kind of early, but a dramatic turnaround. They're all the young players, which from all the years they've been doing bad, they finally managed to draft well, and they're coming in, which is, the draft. I know a lot of other sports don't have that, especially not in North America. But the thing I love about the draft in hockey is that bad teams like Toronto, they don't stay bad teams. They're finishing last place every year, but then they get a line of Nylander, Matthews, Marner, and those guys have been leading their team. The Penguins were in the same boat a couple of years ago. They were consistently finishing as the worst team every single year, and out of it they managed to get Marc-Andre Fleury, who I think has the potential to be a Hall of Fame goalie if he can keep on playing. Evgeny Malkin and Sidney Crosby, who if they retired right now, could be in the contention for best players ever. Definitely Crosby, maybe not Malkin, but and then they get Jordan Staal, who he's gone now, but he was a good third liner, definitely helped them win. And Chris Letang, who was drafted in the 3rd round. I think when the draft's coming up for the NHL, I think one of the best things is seeing all these like late picks. Guys that aren't expected to be anything turn out to be something. It's it's like I said, the underdog story. You know,
Right.
you root for the bottom.
So with all these transfers going across, I guess that brings us to our next segment. Football or soccer transfers. Twice a year. This is around everyone's, probably half of the world's population's mind about which player will go where. These big money moves kind of define teams for the entire season going in.
Oh yeah,
So let's talk about some of these transfers coming out. Some of these
I haven't been keeping up with it. All I see is Manchester United flopping again.
Well, no, they've done some okay signings so far. They signed a goalkeeper from Benfica. I think that's a big addition.
Which
Manchester
means
City
that
haven't.
he is out soon.
Manchester City haven't done too bad themselves. They've signed a center back from Monaco, much needed. You know, Vincent Kompany hasn't. He's a good player, but he just hasn't been the best he can be. I think this center back Manchester City have bought from Monaco is a good addition. Arsenal themselves have recently signed a left back from the Bundesliga from Hertha Berlin. He's Bosnian left back. Very good left back. I've heard reviews about. So
I think Arsenal's fine defensively. What they need is more offense.
Right, of course. So we're looking into Lacazette, which we've been looking for a long time. Things are opening up.
Lacazette's overpriced. I'm hearing that his price is like 68
40 million.
euro. 40 million. That's still too much.
40 million is too much. I agree. I'd say honestly, a good price for Lacazette would be 25 million.
I think the players these days are being transferred way too much. I think Pogba for 100 million last year, it was a fair deal, and I know people hated that. And the reason I say that's a fair deal is Ronaldo went for, I believe, 80 million, and Bale went for 85. There's always going to be inflation. There's always going to be a higher price. So as it continues, also I believe Ronaldo was already in his prime at that point. Pogba was young, so Manchester United's going to get a good 16, 15 years out of Pogba, so which increases his price. But you know, it's why are players this much money into a player? It's entertainment. I get that it has a place, but 100 million for a player.
Right.
The only reason I say it's worth it is because Ronaldo and Bale went for around 80 million. But even then, too much money. Too much money.
I definitely agree. But tell us about some of these transfers. I'd say some big ones. It does Milan. AC Milan, their goalkeeper, young 16-year-old goalkeeper.
Donnarumma, right?
Right, of course.
I like him.
He's rejecting to sign a new contract with Milan, saying he wants more money.
I mean, he's only 16. He's got his whole future ahead of him. Take 4 years in Milan and keep growing. When you're 20,
I'm thinking that too. But no, he's saying he wants to switch to a big club now. He's only 16, you know.
Well, I can kind of understand that though, because like maybe not for soccer players, but if I were a player, I'd find it interesting just to spend my whole career with one club, maybe two, but like I don't think players like to move around a lot. I mean, sure you have journeymen like Zlatan who do it, but I mean for Donnarumma, he's 16. Maybe he's hot-headed. You know, he figures, hey, why don't I just go to Barcelona, win the Spanish league at like 17?
Yeah, of course. But here's also the thing. Let's say he does maybe move to Real Madrid. He's 16. By the time the next season will be over, he'll probably be 17, maybe almost 18. Can he really cope with that pressure of a big stage? You know, Champions League football. You're expecting a 16-year-old goalkeeper to play Champions League football.
I don't really know. 16 is still a kid, but I mean, if he thinks he can do it, he can do it.
Look, I mean, us two are almost 16, right? So. But look at it at this point of view, you know, you can't just say, okay, I'm young. If I fail to perform, okay, they'll understand I'm young. You can't say that because if you're being paid so much money, you have to perform.
I think he'll perform if he needs to. If he's already asking for a big transfer, he's confident enough in himself.
Honestly, I'd say the most likely place for him to go would probably be Juventus. Juventus already, yeah, I know. I'm thinking Juventus already nicks off of their own rivals, but think about it. Juventus are looking for a replacement for Buffon. Here's a cheap option you can get straight out of Italy.
That's a good point. Buffon 2.0 in here, but
they both have the same first name anyway. I mean,
do you think he'd do it? You know, go to the rival. I mean, Zlatan played for all three of them: Juventus, Inter Milan, and AC Milan. So I mean, anything's possible.
So, do I think Donnarumma will go to Juventus? I think it's quite likely.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think AC Milan would let it happen, but Juventus and Donnarumma would like it. I'd hate that move because that would just prove more and more that Juventus is.
But in today's world, I see it happening.
Yeah, that's true though. I could when you put it that way, I can see it happening too. As much as I hate it though, I mean it's like like Italian league, like really you want to give Buffon the 39-year-old guy like another championship, like really like Juventus has won enough. All right, they
They
went to
won
the
their
Champions
fifth.
League again.
It's their fifth in a row. I think they've won fifth or sixth.
Yeah. Enough for Buffon. Enough for him. The dude's old as dirt. He's won championships probably that are older than some of his teammates.
True that.
I mean, the guy is old. Let him have an off year. Don't make him chase another championship. Even if he's just the backup to Donnarumma, even if he's supposed to be the guidance to Donnarumma. For as a personal move, it's a for a 16-year-old to play behind Buffon. I mean, I guess it's a good career move. You know, it's a 40-year-old goalie. He's considered great, you know, but he's 40. He's old.
Mhm.
He's Buffon, so I mean, it's Buffon. You just kill Buffon, poison him, and take a spot.
Any other big transfers? Let's see. Last week I focused on Diego Costa. Nothing much new on it except for the fact
Costa's
that
going back to Atletico,
I don't see that happening.
but if Atletico fans want it, it's gotta happen. Am I right?
Oh, what about Diego Simeone? You know, I think he might have a year left on his contract.
I don't even know anymore. I always the only move I've been able to predict accurately recently has been Hummels to Bayern, and I said that as a joke. So I have no faith in my ability to predict where people are going. So I'm just gonna say, if the player is like French, he's going to Barcelona. If he's Italian, he's going to Juventus. If he's Spanish, he's going to Real Madrid. If he's English, he's going to Arsenal. That's I'm missing some countries in there, but if he's German, he's going to Bayern. Because where else would you be going?
If he's English, he's going to Arsenal.
Yeah, that's my final thing.
I think he'd rather go to Tottenham.
Congrats, John Terry. That's your new home.
So there are rumors that John Terry has signed a deal with Bournemouth. Good move for Bournemouth or bad move?
Well, Jack Wilshere and John Terry are gonna get real friendly in there.
Yes. Okay. It's a good move because it brings experience, but it's a bad move because how long will John Terry honestly last before he retires?
It's worse when you consider the fact that John Terry might sleep with Wilshire's wife.
We're not gonna get into that.
Might sleep with your wife.
Gotta keep this friendly. No, John Terry, he's getting old. You know, I'd say at Bournemouth he might last. Even if he does sign a contract for 2 seasons, I wouldn't be surprised if he retires after the season or maybe within half of the season. Yeah, but there's rumors. Bournemouth's on the list. Aston Villa's on the list.
He should go to Tottenham
It's mainly good.
or Arsenal. I
Tottenham.
want John Terry to go to Tottenham or Arsenal.
No, we're good. Thank you. Okay, so I guess we could just wrap up ourselves for
You're afraid
transfers.
with John Terry sleeping with another teammate's wife in Arsenal?
Dude, no, I'm actually not. So let's see. Going on to this is going to be interesting. So we have a interesting segment for you guys. It's called a quick fire round. We'll ask each other 5 quick questions, and the person responding. So in this case, SuperTanuma. I'm going to ask him questions, and he only has 3 seconds to answer each question. And then he's going to ask me questions. I only have 3 seconds. Total of 5 questions. Whoever has the most points win. So, SuperTanuma, tell me how you want to do this. Should I ask all 5 and then you ask me all 5, or should we do 1 and 1?
All 5 and then all 5.
Okay. So who goes first?
You go first.
All right. So
I'm probably gonna miss them all.
Ready for your first question?
Yeah, I guess. As
Are you
ready
ready
as I
for
can
your first question?
be. Yeah.
All right. So, which team won the Cricket World Cup in 2015?
Dude, I got no clue. I don't keep up with cricket.
All right. The answer
Tottenham Hotspurs.
is Tottenham Hotspur. The answer is actually Australia.
Oh, okay. I
Okay,
could have thought of that, I guess.
Okay, so here's the second question, which might be a bit easier. Which club did Angel Di Maria play for before moving to Paris Saint-Germain?
Manchester United.
Correct.
That was
You got that.
disappointing.
You got that barely in the nick of time. All right, so here's the third question. What is the maximum number of points you can get in one round of snooker?
I have no clue.
The answer is 147. Okay, so here's your second to last question. How many days does a domestic cricket match last in England?
5 days.
Wrong. The answer is 4 days.
Oh, well, only 24 hours off. That's not too bad.
The international matches actually last 5 days. The domestic matches last 4. Okay, now here's another one. Final one. You might be able to get this. Which team has won the most Stanley Cups in NHL history?
The Detroit Red Wings, if I remember
Nope.
correctly. Montreal Canadiens, 24.
Oh. Yeah, it is the Canadians. Do I give
20
that to you or not?
Is it 24? Is it 24 cups? If it's 24 cups, give it to me.
Okay. It's the Canadians for sure, but let's figure out how many cups they've won. In the meantime, get your questions ready.
All right.
How many times has Montreal Canadiens won the Stanley Cup? And your answer is 24.
All right, and then give me the point.
All right, so you get a total of 2 points. All right, do you have a timer ready?
No, I don't have a timer ready. I trust you to answer things within 3 seconds.
Okay, so what I can do is to show the audience that I'm not going to teach. I'm not going to cheat. What I can do is I can just share the screen real quick, and I can post a timer up on the screen. So to show the viewers that I'm actually not cheating.
All right.
Here, let me just get a timer loaded. So what can I just do? Online stopwatch. That'll work. All right. Perfect. So let me just get the screen shared. All right. So.
All right, I'm gonna start with my first question.
No, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me just see if I'm ready. Okay. So go ahead and start with the question.
This player was drafted first overall by the Ottawa Senators and said, "I'm glad I got drafted first because no one remembers number 2." Who was drafted first and second?
First, I'm gonna do Tom Brady. Second, I'm gonna go with Peyton Manning.
All right, that not even hockey players, but okay.
I know. How am I supposed to know?
Number 2 should be easier. This NBA legend never won a championship until 2017, but not as a player. He ended his career with the Lakers in 2015.
How am I so? I don't remember. Kobe Bryant. I don't know.
No,
It's definitely not Kobe Bryant.
what's this? I forgot. Okay, Canadian legend Steve Nash. There we go.
Okay.
And then number 3, this Barcelona legend helped the club win the treble in 2009, but left the club in 2015.
Xavi.
Good. All right.
Oh, that's
Number 4, name all 3 cover athletes on the standard FIFA 10 cover.
Clint Dempsey, Frank Lampard, and Wayne Rooney.
I have it as Theo Walcott, Wayne Rooney, and Frank Lampard.
So I got
2
two of them, right?
All right. Number 5, name every California.
If I get this fifth one, I can tie with you.
Name every California
go ahead.
hockey team. Every California hockey team. Let's go.
How many are there?
3.
There's 3 of them. Okay. Los Angeles Kings, San Jose Sharks. I don't know a third, man.
Ooh. Okay. 7 seconds. All right. It's the Anaheim Ducks.
Oh, they're in California?
Yeah, Anaheim's like right below Los Angeles.
I thought they were in another state.
Nah, Anaheim's on the West Coast. I almost said East Coast,
okay.
but no.
Let's see. So I answered 1 fully correct, and 2 of them I got 2 out of 3 parts. You answered 2 correct, so call it a draw.
All right. I mean,
So,
what What we should do is we should just total up all the total points. Whoever wins the most matches at the end of the summer, we get them like a cup. I don't know, a title,
Nice. All
an
right,
actual
we'll,
trophy, a
we'll
gun.
call this the Quick Fire Cup.
That's a nice ring to it.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so we're gonna go into our final segment, the debate segment. So basically, this debate segment, each side, we're just gonna debate for about, I'd say, 3-4 minutes, and it's usually an interesting topic. And today our topic is interesting. Should salary caps be introduced into the English Premier League?
Yes.
You think yes? Interesting.
Yes.
I think it's a tangible concept, but I'm gonna go with no. So let's go ahead and start the debate. If you want to present your side first.
I'll present my side first. I think when you look at the BPL or whatever EPL, whatever it's called now, it's actually for all of soccer in general, but we're gonna focus on the EPL. It's a history of the same teams winning over and over, in my opinion. You look at it, Manchester United wins everything, Chelsea wins everything, Arsenal wins everything. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think only 6 teams have actually won a championship: Leeds, Blackburn Rovers, Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal, and is it Man City?
Man City, but Leeds have never won. You're mistaken for Leicester.
Leicester, sorry. No, I'm pretty sure I concluded for whatever. Like only 6 teams have won it after the establishment of the BPL, and the main reason is that clubs like Arsenal, like Chelsea, like Manchester, they have so much money. They can do whatever they want. Pogba for 100 million, and who did Manchester United sell? Like practically nobody.
So
Nobody worth 100 million.
Just cutting the debate right here. Some English teams I feel like deserve a transfer ban. You know, a lot of La Liga teams have gotten transfer bans for not playing enough Spanish players. In some matches, Manchester United haven't played a single English player, despite being the English Premier League. Chelsea have only played mainly 1 or 2 English players throughout the entire season. Do you think teams like Chelsea, Manchester United should get a transfer ban for not playing enough homegrown talent?
I don't think so, to be honest. I think that's against the interest of like growing talent, because like why not let players branch out into other countries, you know? No, what do you like? It's just I find it a little silly, to be honest, because I feel like it's like those participation awards like kids get in elementary school. It's like oh, you're English. Like it goes back into you can easily cry racism. That's my other fear, but like two players. The English player is worse than the Spanish player, but the English player is going to make it because they got to keep homegrown talent, you know? I think
good point.
I definitely think it's like if you're a British team, like why not promote homegrown talent? But like it's up to I think it's up to the team. I don't think there should be a transfer ban. Well, there should be transfer bans, but not for homegrown talent. If you want to talk about reckless spending like Manchester United, then sure, yeah, be my guest. But
okay, so now I'm going to present my side of this debate. I feel like salary cap should not be introduced, but rather more about a limit on how much money you can spend in the summer. So each team should be given a certain limit. Depending on the team's wealth, that's how much their limit should be. So each team should get a different limit. So, for example, a team like Huddersfield, who maybe earns less, should have a bit more room to spend, while a team like maybe
200% wise, basically.
While a team like Manchester United should maybe have a certain limit on how much they spend. So
you want to like percent wise. So
percent-wise.
Like I guess
so
like
basically they're not
like
buying
taxation, like taxation basically. If Manchester United makes twice as much money as a second club, they get to use 50% of their funds because that would be equal to another team.
Sort of, and it also should be like depending on how much a transfer is spent. Instead of the club keeping that entire money, part of that money should be paid in like taxes to the government or something, you know.
Maybe for salary caps, the 2 ways they could do it is like you said, a limit to how much you can spend in the summer, or you can put a salary cap on like the salary itself, you know. Put a limit to how much wages you can be paying. So technically, you can get out and you can go out and buy whoever you want, but you can't afford to keep that entire team together because the salary demands are gonna force you to give up on somebody or rely on cheaper contracts.
Makes sense.
And that way, you're not punishing teams like Manchester or Chelsea for making that much money, because if they make a ton of money, they're allowed to use it on getting players. But at the same time, it makes it fair that everyone gets an equal chance at getting salary.
Right. Because, like one thing I like about the MLS is that, I mean, obviously there's some teams that are dominant, but it's not on a completely huge scale. It's completely possible for Atlanta United to go and win the season, but you can always expect Los Angeles Galaxy to win every year. In Premier League, however, the odds are quite screwed in a sense, or skewed in a sense. The teams with the more money have the better chances of winning the league.
Yeah, no, that's what I want. I want a league where not just 4 teams are competing. I want a league where not every team, but like at different points in their history, every team is capable of competing.
Mm-hmm.
More like 10 different teams have. You could root for any of them. It's like I almost feel bad for teams that are in mid-table. Like
Yeah.
like fans of Leicester. I know they just won, but that's why like to see Leicester fans when they won. Like not every team should be able to come close to that goal, which is why I think they should start limiting how much salary or money can be spent from the bigger clubs to make it a little bit
So,
fair for other teams.
so the Liga MX, the Mexican league. The 16 teams compete in the league, and within history, 8 teams have won it total. In the Premier League, 26 teams have won it total. One of them has been relegated since. It's interesting to think about.
Would you propose a draft? Would you propose a draft in the EPL, like the North American leagues have?
I mean, it's interesting to think. I mean, no. Reason being is like the teams that usually finish top of the table get the last picks, right?
Yeah. But
Yeah. So the
that's where the
problem,
complication comes because in North America, the minor leagues are affiliated with the major leagues, while for soccer, 7th division teams are completely independent from 1st division teams. So technically speaking, the worst team in England would have been the last team in the 6th or 7th division rather than the worst team in the what is it? Sorry, the 1st division.
so well, along with that, it's like let's say Chelsea get the last pick. That means Chelsea would be getting a player they're honestly not going to end up really using, and they're just going to end up sending that player out on loan. So in the end, it's just a waste of money for Chelsea.
Well, I mean, I guess you could keep. It would be a the rich gets richer kind of mentality, but if you did it just for first team or 1st division clubs, technically Chelsea is getting the 20th highest ranked player in the English draft, so I guess you could do that too. I mean, the only thing I like about drafts is sleeper talents. Guys that are drafted really low that end up being like good prospects, good players.
The chances Chelsea would honestly end up using their draft pick are quite rare.
Well, the more young players you have, the higher chance there is of them being good. That's the mentality. You either draft quality or you draft quantity.
That is true. I mean, it's a topic to see. I guess we're gonna have to cut it off here. The stream's getting a bit lengthy, but it's been a really good stream. I've definitely enjoyed it this time around.
All right. Well,
Yeah. Well,
I guess this time in a week, about a week.
No, about maybe we can do Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
I'm actually gone next week for like the weekdays.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I'll bring back some stories or something.
True. Where are you going?
San Francisco, where hockey should be.
Nice.
Okay, one last topic. North American teams that should have a team, but like, what sport should they have a team? Cities that don't have a sport, basically. Kansas City, Seattle's. Should they get a sport, and for which league should they get a team?
Okay, so I guess we can start off with basketball. What team? What city should get a basketball team?
Seattle. That's the easiest decision ever.
Seattle. I could say Vancouver.
Vancouver would be a nice choice too. I'd say Pittsburgh for biasness, but Pittsburgh isn't really a basketball city, so.
Vancouver wouldn't be that bad of an addition.
Yeah, no, I think more Canadian teams should be included.
Yeah, that would be nice to see. If the MLS were to add it, city.
I mean, if we're talking about NFL, I mean, they're definitely eyeing up Vegas, so I'm not going to change that. I think they made the right choice to go to Vegas.
The MLS, if they had to add a city, is Detroit in the MLS? I don't think so.
No, I'm pretty sure they're not. I don't
Detroit
follow the
should get,
MLS.
that would be good for Detroit because that would bring money into Detroit. That's something
I
they
also think,
really need.
honestly, you'd be surprised, but there's actually a decent soccer support in Pittsburgh. I'm not 100% sure, but from if I remember correctly, Pulisic, the Borussia Dortmund prospect from America, he is from Pennsylvania. I believe he spent I think he grew up in Pittsburgh. Pretty sure he did. So there's interest there. I know my family likes him because of that. That's what my grandparents always talk about.
I like Pulisic himself. He's a good player. He is a nice player.
If we're talking hockey, anywhere in Canada plus Seattle could work.
So you're saying we could put up a team in Nunavut and it'll work?
Yeah, why not? I'll be the coach there.
What about if we maybe added a team, Alaska?
Specific cities, I think Halifax, Hamilton, London, Ontario. But they're all, I guess, kind of in closest range to Toronto. So
yeah, true. I mean, that's being said, that much popular, you could add a second Toronto team.
Yeah, but that's my idea too. If you have the talk about a second Toronto team, if you have the ability to add a second Toronto team, just move it to a nearby city like London, like Hamilton, or move it slightly to the coasts of Canada and put it in like Halifax.
What about Alaska? Could there be a team there?
In Alaska?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I think there's a minor league team there. I think the only real issue is traveling because they're in a corner by themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, the NHL already seems to have a problem with time zones, which is why they refuse to put a team in other continents. But if that was the case, there was a proposal a while back to put teams in Sweden for the NHL. But the only real issue with that is the time zone traveling because it's an 82 game season. So
yeah. There was also a NFL to add a team in London. There's definitely commercial value there because people in London love the NHL. That's not the problem. The main problem is just time zones.
Well, not only that, but for the football, it's more feasible because it's only a 16 game. So what you possibly could do is like for the London team, they have 8 home games and then 8 away games. You could break it up 4-4, so they have 4 home games, 4 away games, and they come back to London, 4 home games, and then go back 4 away games. It'd be a little bit more difficult for the American teams, but at most, the teams in their division would only have to go to London twice. So it's definitely more feasible than the NHL or the NBA.
Mm. I see. Okay, so I guess we'll let you guys know on social media and stuff when we'll be stream next. But you can also view this. Hopefully, you will be able to view this soon on SoundCloud and Google Play Music. So you can, check it out there. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and subscribe to Illegal Gamers. They have some nice bit of gaming content, bit of hockey content. If you want to check that out.
It's been like a year since I've uploaded anything though.
Then you better start uploading.
That's a good idea.
I mean, you can probably also view this podcast on Illegal Gamers channel. So
yeah, that should be up soon.
That should be up soon. All right. Without further ado, I guess we're gonna say goodbye.